Transitions at the top of companies are a lot like politics. People are always talking about, did you get it right? Did you pick the right person? And there's a lot of banter and discussion about that. You know, Mary Barra, is she the right person at General Motors? I mean, it goes on and on. And the truth is, for the people that get that job, they certainly show up with tremendous amount of confidence. They believe in themselves. It's a very big time job with a lot of responsibility. But you know what? I think it also comes with a little bit of fear. And that fear is, well, you know, think about it. There's no one else. You are the last line of defense. You are the one responsible for the brand, for the company, for the people, for the jobs, for the location. I mean, that's a ton of responsibility. That the proverbial, you know, the buck stops here is really true. And I think it weighs on a lot of senior executives. I think it's one of the biggest differences in the transition as a senior executive goes from very big responsibility to actually being the man or the woman in charge, the CEO of the business. It's not just another promotion. It's a dramatic shift. And I think while there's a lot of transitions involved in that, there's a lot of things that have to be adjusted and improved. The underlying core challenge is more of a psychological one than anything else, which is, you know, do I really have the right stuff? Am I able to do that? That fear, that doubt, that concern that people have, that you try to drive away, you don't want to have it, of course, but, you know, it's there. You're now responsible. And I think the difference between successful new CEOs that make that transition well versus others that maybe struggle a little bit is in part how they deal with this confidence, this secret fear. First of all, you can't admit it to anyone, right? I mean, who are you going to tell? You're going to tell your subordinates, the people in your team. You really, you know, you're having trouble sleeping. You're worried. You're not sure you're up to this. You don't want to tell them that. You definitely don't want to tell the board of directors. They just hired you. And maybe most complicated at all, you don't really want to tell yourself, and so you deny it. But the fact that we might pretend it doesn't exist doesn't mean it's not there. And so it's part of us, and it's gnawing away at us. And so there's no one to really tell. But here's a place where self-awareness could be such a big thing. Being alert, being aware, just acknowledging to yourself, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it work. I know what to do. But, you know, there is something there. Somebody wise once told me that some of the best leaders have no fear of acknowledging that they're afraid. Think about that for a minute. Most of the time we're terrified to acknowledge we're afraid. But imagine how confident you are and how strong you have to be to actually not be afraid to acknowledge, you know what, I am a little bit nervous. I am a little bit afraid. And when you do that, you're facing up directly to what's going on, to the challenge. You're not kind of locking it up in a closet and pretending that it's not there and the skeletons will never come out. It's there. It's reality. You're not going to let it hold you up. It's not going to affect you because you acknowledge that it's there and you move on from there. It's a tough thing. I think any new leader needs to be able to address and take on those demons. And I think the one thing we know is locking them up and pretending they don't exist is probably a bad idea. Much better off is to say, okay, it's there. I'm putting it up in front of me. I know that's my challenge, and I'm going after it, and I'm going to beat it. And that's all there is to it. I think the best leaders can do that.